Hey there folks, TM Trav here, and December's Golden Pursuit is live in ESO with some really spectacular rewards that you can get just by completing a few in-game tasks. I have to say, I'm very pleased with what ZOS has done with this first real edition of the Pursuits, and I'm excited to give you a breakdown of this month's rewards and activities. In this video, I'll showcase each of the rewards you can obtain, explain which activities to complete to get yourself the capstone reward as quickly and easily as possible, and describe the best ways to accomplish each activity. Before we dive in though, don't forget to click that subscribe button to keep up with my future ESO content. Also, if you enjoy this video, I would really appreciate you leaving a like to help get the YouTube algorithm's gears moving. It'll do wonders for my #1 goal of helping as many ESO players as possible with my content. Now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at these Golden Pursuit rewards. Now, first, I'll go over the weapon styles you can earn, as they can each be obtained by completing just one specific activity. Each weapon will be in the Evergreen Saturalia style, which exhibits a somewhat druidic design with branch and root-like features, as well as a green shimmer effect that drifts across the surfaces of these armaments. The first of these weapon styles, which can be obtained by completing 5 quests, is the Battle Axe. Next up is the Dagger, which you can acquire by killing 5 world bosses. Murdering 5 delve bosses to death will get you the Bow. The Great Sword will be rewarded after you complete 5 incursions like Dolmens, Harrow Storms, or Abyssal Geysers. Completing 1 group dungeon will secure the Mace. The Maul is obtainable through the completion of 1 trial. Visiting 10-player homes will get you the Staff. Crafting 50 of any combination of items will reward you with the Shield. The Axe can be acquired by completing 1 battleground match. And you can get the final weapon style, the Sword, by earning 10 event tickets. December's first milestone reward is 3 Allmaker Crown Crates, which are rewarded after you complete 4 of this Golden Pursuit's activities. Here's a look at some of the potential contents of these crates, which are themed after the Skull of Solstheim. If you want to see the full list of crate rewards, I'll link this UESP page in the description. The second milestone reward, which can be earned by completing 8 activities, is the Frost Draugr Rune Gathering customized action. Next up, we have the penultimate milestone reward, this Nord Hero statue, which you can claim after completing 12 activities. And finally, after fulfilling 20 of the 29 activities in December's Golden Pursuit, you'll be rewarded with the Barnacle and Coral-ridden Shoalbear mount. From my perspective, these are all excellent rewards. I think the frosty rune gathering action and the natural growth theme of the weapon styles would be great complements to a lot of Warden builds out there. Let me know what kind of character you plan to use them for in the comments. Alright, now with this month's Golden Pursuits, including 29 activities, you have the opportunity to pick and choose which ones you prefer to do to satisfy the 20 activity capstone reward requirement and get the bear. With that in mind, I've put together a list of what I think will be the 20 quickest and least invasive activities for the average player to help you decide where to invest your time. I'll explain the best method for accomplishing each of those activities, and for the completionists out there, or for those of you who don't agree with the 20 activities I'm listing, I'll also cover the other 9 activities at the end. By far the easiest activity on the list is going to be visiting 10-player homes. You can literally just walk in and out of your own home 10 times to knock this one out. If you don't have your own house, checking out some of your guildmates' homes or visiting some of the houses in the Home Tours area of the Activity Finder are also a couple of very simple options. A few more easy activities on the list are the 5, 10, and 20 quest requirements. If you have 3 characters, the quick and easy method here will be completing all your daily crafting writs on those characters, which will net you 21 quests if you have jewelry crafting unlocked. Even if you don't have more than 1 character, you can just complete all your writs each day for 3 days to wrap up these 3 activities. Completing those crafting writs will also get you close to completing the Craft 50 items with any skill activity, as you'll have created at least 45 items while completing those quests. That number could be well over 50 as well, depending on the jewelry writs you get and whether you have certain alchemy and provisioning passives that create more than 1 of each consumable you craft. Additionally, you could do those writs inside of your player home if you have your own crafting tables to knock out the craft 25 items inside your home activity, but I know not everyone has crafting tables, so I won't count that one toward the easiest 20 activities. Harvesting 75 resources from the world should also be a super easy activity to complete, and it'll give you an opportunity to grab some mats to sell or use for your own purposes as needed. Another very simple task that just about any player should be able to handle solo is killing 5 delve bosses. If you're not super confident about your skill level, I'd recommend just running through one of the early zones like Auridon or Stonefalls and knocking this one out in those starter delves, but just FYI, you might have to wait a little while for them to respawn. The 5 incursion activity should also be quite easy to accomplish, as even if you can't solo a Dark Anchor, you can just go to Alakir and follow the Dolmen group around to get this one done. Likewise, the 5 World Boss activity, while perhaps somewhat challenging depending on your skill level, can easily be accomplished with a group. If you're confident in your ability, a quick place to solo a few bosses and knock this one out would again be any of the early zones, like Glenumbra for example, but if you need some help with this task, you'll almost certainly find help in basically any zone just by asking for it. If you type LF help with world bosses in zone chat, I'm sure you'll find at least 1 or 2 players willing to crush a few of these monstrosities with you. Another 2 activities that should be of fairly low difficulty are completing 1 and 5 dungeons. These can literally be any dungeon, so if you really wanted to, you could queue up for normal Fungal Grotto a bunch of times and smash through these requirements quickly. You could also just queue for 5 normal daily randoms and finish this activity up while also earning tons of experience and those sweet, sweet transmutes. Similarly, the 2 battlegrounds activities won't be too bad even for non-PvP players, as the requirement is simply to complete them. No need to win, which I'll say is definitely good for me as I'm no PvP expert. Just queue up for an 8v8 BG for 5 days this month and these 2 activities will be in the bag. My next 2 picks might be slightly controversial, as I know there are many players out there who are a bit timid when it comes to this sort of content, but the 1 and 3 trial activities are really not as scary as you might think. Many guilds out there do normal trial training runs where you're basically guaranteed to get a complete while also learning the mechanics of the content, so join one of those if you're able. If you don't have access to guild training runs, check the group finder for normal trials, or try creating your own posting to get one going. And for all you players out there who don't think you're ready for a trial, check out my Everything You Need to Know About Dealing Damage video, which I'll link in the description. Chances are, you're ready and you don't even know it. Another couple of activities that I would consider low to moderate difficulty are the 2 related to Infinite Archive, complete 6 stages, and defeat 5 cycle bosses. A lot of players out there should be able to complete the first arc in the Archive, which will satisfy the requirements of both these activities, but even if you struggle with the later stage bosses, you can simply reset the Archive and do the first stage or 2 a few times to wrap these 2 tasks up. Throughout many of these activities, you'll be defeating tons of enemies, so the kill 200 foes requirement should be quite easy to just passively meet along the way. One key distinction here though is that you must kill those enemies with class abilities, so you may need to change up your skill bars a bit to ensure your foes get crushed in the requisite manner. The last couple of activities that I'd consider part of the very easy category are the event-related requirements of earning 15 New Life Festival boxes and 10 event tickets. Although you won't be able to complete these until later in the month, they can be knocked out with minimal effort once they're available. If you're unfamiliar with this event, there will be several daily quests that you can pick up in Eastmarch, each of which requires you to head into one of the base game zones and participate in their respective version of the New Life festivities. Every one of these quests is very simple and will reward you with a box upon completion, and the first New Life quest you do each day will get you 3 event tickets. I'll be releasing a comprehensive guide on the New Life Festival about a week before it starts, so keep an eye out for that to learn more. And there you have it, that's 20 activities completed. Before I get into what I consider the more difficult or annoying tasks on the list, I did want to mention that I think the requirement to earn 75,000 Alliance points could be interchanged with one of the activities I mentioned above. However, I know a lot of the player base is PvP averse, so that's why I didn't include it. I'm sure I'll get flamed by the PvPers in the comments, but this list is generally meant for the average ESO player, which in my experience is not doing much PvP content. That said, you could likely earn 75k AP in just an hour or 2 by hopping into one of the more populated Cyrodiil campaigns. If you're inexperienced in PvP, simply type LFG in chat to get into a group, then just try to keep up with the group leader and do what you can. If the group is really rolling, you could earn this amount of AP in even less time, and hey, you might even enjoy it. Along that same vein, I kept the Kill 10 Players activity out of the list as well because the average ESO player might find that requirement to be difficult to meet. However, if you do PvP regularly, this is probably one of the easiest tasks on the list. For those who aren't sure what the best way to get kills is, unfortunately that's hard to say because it really varies across a lot of different situations. I'd say if you're just getting into PvP, you'll probably find kills easier to come by in 8v8 battlegrounds. However, if you can get into a good Cyrodiil group, kills might not be too hard to find there either. My advice is to just give it a try with an open mind and don't sweat it when you get killed or even if some jerk throws you a teabag. Do your best not to take PvP too seriously and you'll probably have plenty of fun. Now, you've probably noticed that I haven't mentioned any of the gain X number of levels activities, and my reason for leaving them out of the easy list is that if you don't have a good reason to do so, grinding levels on a new character can really be tedious and somewhat annoying. That said, if you do happen to need to level a new character this month, and I know many will be doing so to earn the 21 free skill styles available right now, there are a few ways to really optimize the grind and make it go a lot faster. So this first bit is kind of obvious, but make sure you're running an experience scroll while you're grinding XP, as that'll help you gain levels in much less time. While you have that scroll active, it's best to do content with high experience density like running the Black Rose Prison grind with a friend if you have access to it. There are plenty of guides and videos out there explaining this grind, but you basically just do the first round up to the boss, then die to the boss, which will reset the arena, rinse, and repeat. If you don't have the Murkmire DLC, then another high-density experience farm is killing mobs in the Skyreach or Spellscar areas of Craglorn. I like Spellscar best, but either will do. You just need to run around and kill stuff, so this is a pretty simple method. There is a sort of rotation in Spellscar, so if you see others in the area, just try to follow them around and drop AoEs on the mobs so you can get credit for the kills. If you're going the Skyreach route, you may need to get a friend to run you through it, as a low-level character might have some difficulty with the champion-level bosses. Another advantage of doing Spellscar is that you can queue for a random normal dungeon and wait for a queue pop while you're grinding, and you'll get a ton of experience from your daily random dungeon which can often shoot you up several levels. The last activity that I have yet to mention is the one that requires you to open 15 treasure chests, and this is another one that I find a bit tedious. Sure, opening a chest takes almost no effort, but all the running around and searching for them is a real pain. However, if you're intent on doing this one, I do have a tip for you. If you're anything like me, you probably have about 1 million treasure maps sitting in your bank and coffers on your alts, sticking out of your ears, or your... well, you know, just about everywhere. Grab 15 of those, pick up the ESO app on your phone, and go dig up some chests. Again, pretty easy, but not really how I prefer to spend my time. Alright folks, that about wraps it up. Let me know in the comments what you think about this month's Golden Pursuits and the activities required to obtain them. Special thanks to Jerry, Chief, Elder, Gerb, Brew, Zoo, the Dynasty of Tamriel Guild, and my wonderful wife. By the way, we're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that button for easy access to my upcoming content and to help me reach that next milestone. Also, if you're feeling extra supportive and would like to see your username displayed in a future video, consider clicking that thanks button down below the title and dropping a few coins in the tip jar. Supporting the channel in this way will put a huge smile on my face as well as help offset some of the significant time, effort, and money I continue to invest in the content I share. Finally, if you found this video interesting or helpful, don't forget to feed that algorithm with a like and share with a friend if you're so inclined. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.